There is Big Bucks Gun and Pawn. There is Holy City Firearms, or probably the best name of the bunch. There is Ammo Dump. There are a lot of options when it comes to gun shops in and around Summerville, South Carolina. So why did former President Trump choose this one? Yesterday, before speaking at a campaign rally in South Carolina, Trump made a pit stop for a tour and a photo op at a gun shop called the Palmetto State Armory. Now, this is a photo of one of the guns a white gunman used a month ago today in Jacksonville, Florida, to kill 3 black people in a Dollar General in a predominantly black neighborhood. The gunman, who fatally shot himself after that attack, he left behind a racist manifesto. As the Jacksonville sheriff said, this shooting was racially motivated, and he hated black people. This is a closer picture of the gun that shooter used a month ago today. And above the hand-painted swastika, you can see the logo, Palmetto State Armory. It was headline news that at least one of the shooter's guns came from the Palmetto State Armory. Now, to be clear, Palmetto State Armory is a South Carolina chain, and there are lots of locations. But also, there are lots of gun stores to choose from in that town, minutes away from one another. And so it feels like a choice that exactly a month later, Donald Trump chose this particular shop for his photo op. That is not the only thing this particular gun shop is known for. In 2009, South Carolina Republican Joe Wilson shouted, "You lie," at President Obama during a congressional address. And that was celebrated on the right. And Palmetto State Armory had its first big national news moment by commemorating Wilson's outburst on a custom-engraved AR-15 accessory. More recently, Palmetto State Armory has made news for marketing its product toward the anti-government group, the Boogaloo Boys. Boogaloo is a predominantly right-wing accelerationist movement whose members say they want a violent second civil war against the federal government. You might know the Boogaloo Boys from their signature combination of Hawaiian shirts and military gear. It is not on sale anymore, but in 2020, the Palmetto State Armory sold this gun in a Hawaiian shirt print called the Big Igloo Aloha. Big Igloo Aloha, which sounds a lot like Boogaloo. Big Igloo Aloha. Palmetto State Armory didn't respond to requests for comments by The Trace, an outlet that covers gun violence, when The Trace began reporting on this sort of merchandise in 2020. But given all of that, it feels very pointed that President Trump, former President Trump, picked this particular gun shop just yesterday. It maybe even feels like Trump was sending a message, and it is not the first time. Last night, Trump's lawyers filed their opposition to special counsel Jack Smith's request for a gag order in a federal election interference case. Smith had asked the judge to restrict Trump's speech outside of court to prevent Trump from intimidating witnesses or influencing potential jurors. In response, Trump's lawyers argued President Trump has not intimidated anyone. They essentially said that because Jack Smith's team didn't directly tie Trump to any specific act of intimidation, he can't be penalized for it. But that is exactly how Trump operates. As his former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, put it years ago, Trump speaks in code. Trump didn't have to tell the Proud Boys to come to the Capitol armed on January 6th. He just told them to stand back and stand by, and that January 6th would be wild. Trump didn't have to tell his followers to break into the Capitol on January 6th and try to attack his vice president, Mike Pence. He just told them to march. And he called the vice president a coward and then sat silently while his supporters chanted that they wanted to hang Mike Pence. Trump tacitly encouraged violence against his own vice president, and Mike Pence is far from an outlier here. Since the 2020 election, more than a dozen people have been charged with threatening election workers because of Trump's big lie. Individual election workers that Trump singled out, like Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, face threats of violence for just doing their jobs. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson had armed protesters show up at her home because of Trump's lies about the election. After Trump demonized the FBI for searching Mar-a-Lago, a supporter of Trump's tried to attack the FBI Cincinnati field office with a nail gun. Even the National Archives has been flooded with threats because Trump demonized the institution last year. And the list goes on. President Trump's followers have shown repeatedly that Trump can send even subtle messages, and they hear a call to violence loud and clear.